Well, hello there. Welcome, Marlene. I am so excited that you agreed to be on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. And everyone, it's my delight and joy to introduce to you Marlene Allen, who is the executive director over at LifeModelWorks. So, welcome to the channel, Marlene. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Megan. Thanks for having me.
Yes. And so, just briefly for my lovely viewers, the Life Model Works is a part of the whole Immanuel lifestyle. And so, for me, I just am so excited to hear from you and talk a little bit about what Life Model Works is all about. But I would love for you to tell me a little bit about yourself, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Me first before Life Model Works. I like
Yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
definitely.
I'm just gonna say I'm just a joy builder. That's who I am. I've been
Yes.
in ministry over 45 years. That seems like a long time, but spent some of that time in Thailand, serving in Southeast Asia as a missionary. It was there that I learned about Life Model Works when I was there and didn't pay attention to what my friend was saying to me. And then it all came real to me, became real about 8 years ago when I landed here in the States. And so it's been quite the journey after that. But I've got four amazing adult kids and with weddings
Love
coming and
it.
going. So I love that, adding to the family, but it's a great tribe and two grandbabies.
Oh, yes.
That's who I am. I just made my home just in Texas after being in Thailand. I was in Colorado for several years, but I'm so tired of being cold. I'm so tired. That's my song that I'm singing these
I
days.
yes, I hear you. I hear you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing and giving us a little snapshot of who you are. And so you talked a little bit about hearing about the life model when you were overseas in Thailand. How did you find when did that happen for you to kind of stumble into to this
Good.
life?
Yeah, I know. There were annual retreats for missionaries that I would attend, and a friend of mine, Dr. Esther Wakeman, would always lead something that had to do with Emmanuel. And I was like, "What are you doing? What is this?" And so she started off with the whole Emmanuel journaling, and then we
Mm,
met for coffee on several occasions. And I do remember the time that I was um, groaning about my life and during our coffee date. And she just looked at me and she says, "Have you read the books I gave you?" It's like, no. But apparently I had, because I really, when I got here to the States after serving there, I one of the pastors said something about the life model. And I was like, I was bragging. Well, I have those books because I had two. I had Living from the Heart Jesus Gave You, the earlier edition, as
mhm.
well as the 15th anniversary edition. And I was bragging about that. But that night I went home and they had actually made it back to the States because I downsized tremendously, but those two
Yeah,
books were there.
yeah.
So when I finally sat down and paid attention, I saw things I'd highlighted, things I'd underlined, but it's like it
Mm,
was gone. It didn't mean anything. But now it's like, what is this? This is amazing. And so there were about the senior team, there were about 7 or 8 of us, and we were all devouring the books. What are you reading now? What are you reading now? So we're just
mhm.
constantly passing books around. And then we invited Michael Hendricks in to come do consulting with us as a team. So we met with him twice a month. Then immediately after that, we started working with the junior team, two of the other pastors and me. We just kind of started working with the rest of the staff because we didn't want to go down this road without them. And it was so transformational that it's like, no, this is good stuff. And we were pretty sold
Mhm,
on it. So that was quite the
mhm,
adventure. But I was so sold on
mhm.
it that I was already creating things for children and creating for small groups and anything, because I had all
Love.
that was within my wheelhouse at the church. But then I was invited to be on the board of Life Model Works after being at a conference and just chit chatting in the lobby. And people were like, "Oh, who are you? What do you do?" And I'm sharing. And
Yeah.
one of the board members was sitting there and I didn't know that. So a month later, I get an invitation. Would you be interested in being on our board? And so that was the start. I served there for about 18 months.
Mhm.
And then the opening came for this job as executive
Yes.
director. It's like, yes, yes.
Yes.
It's been 2 years now and I love the journey. And I just love what we do at Life Model Works. I've experienced it for myself and it's like, I can't wait for somebody else to experience it. And like I said, I was already
Yes.
creating things. So if they wouldn't have hired me, I was going to come compete against them because I'm running with this.
I love it. Yes, I love it. Well, it's so funny because on Instagram 2 years ago, I happened to see the post where they welcomed you to the team, and I was so excited. So all the way back then, it was like I'm watching that, I'm watching that girl. So
It's been fun.
yeah, I love it. I love it. So how has this whole life model works, the practices and all the things, how has it transformed you? You've been in ministry for a long time. What changes have you seen or noticed or yeah, experienced?
I would have to say, Megan, the first thing that I noticed is that it was an invitation to come out of hiding because I knew, and so many of us who are in ministry, we know how to do what we're called to do and we can
Mm,
do it well. But when it comes to our hearts, so many of us know how to hide behind the performance and you don't ever get to see the real me. And if you get too close to the
mm,
real me, I will run and I will hide even further. And I noticed that that's how I lived my entire life of ministry. Is that, ooh, there was
wow.
so many areas of pain, so many areas of loss, especially being on the mission field, even just being in ministry.
Yes.
And I just, but I kept
Yes.
going. I kept going because I had a call in my
Mm.
life and this is what I got to follow the call. And it didn't matter what I was feeling. And then to learn
Oh.
about the life model and realize that my feelings do matter and that my heart was
Mm,
wounded and needed healing. And I
mm,
remember someone had given me a word. They said, I saw you and I saw your heart. And it was like your heart had all of these jewels that were embedded, but they were covered up and there were scabs
mm,
and there were scars there. And it's like, ooh, yeah. But then it was like, it was one of my Emmanuel moments of Jesus just taking my heart and brushing off one more,
mm,
cleaning off one more,
mm,
polishing off one more.
mm.
So it's been quite the journey. It feels like onion layers being peeled off as I find out who I am and learning
Yes.
how to love Him, loving others, but as I love myself. So that's been a big piece of the journey. Yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that was the first thing. Yeah.
You
Because
just
I'm,
You just said it so beautifully. Thank you so much. I really resonate with you just not knowing how to live from the heart that Jesus gave us.
yes.
So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And so early on, you said that you're a joy builder. So tell me a little bit more about that. As I had asked you, I was going to ask you, what's your favorite practice? But I love that you said you're a joy builder. So yeah, tell me about that.
Well, that ties in even with what has changed me. When I was introduced to the life model, I found the language for what I had been carrying for years, but now knew why and even knew how to build on it even more and how to remain my best self because this is me. Because
Yes.
joy is devalued, especially in the church. We would tend to look at joyful people and it's like, what's with her? She just, what's with her? And why does she have her pious look? And of course, the pious looks never worked with
Mm,
me. I'd rather be joyful. But I remember, there's two things I have to say when I was growing up that number one, I had a mom who told jokes, lots of jokes. And she was always like, oh,
mm,
what is she going to
mm.
say today? And that was not knowing she was building the joy capacity of the family. And so even today, we still recall some of her jokes, and some of her jokes we can't tell, I can't repeat,
Yeah,
but
I love it.
but there was always some laughter, and we can easily, as siblings today, gather and somebody wants to tell one of Mama's jokes, and it's just a fun. It's it built the joy, but it was actually doing the brain science was working in our lives to build our capacity.
Yes.
So some of that hiding that I was doing, I did have the capacity, but I didn't want you to get close to me. But that was a first
Hmm.
person. The
Hmm.
second person, this is so vain, but I have to say it. When I was about 12 or 13, I think I was probably 12, and there was this beautiful girl. She was 14 years old and but what made her more beautiful was the fact that she smiled all the time. She walked in a room smiling, and I just started imitating
Yes.
this girl. to do that. But again, I'm building those neural paths in my brain so that when I see people, I'm going to get this smile. So I really was kind of faking it. But to my brain is like, this is what she's doing now when she greets people. And so that's what we talk
This is
about
what
in
she's
the
doing.
life model is that this glad to be with you that glistens from our eyes.
Glad to be
I
with you.
started
Yes.
imitating that. You're right. And so then by the time was born again and came to know the Lord, man, then it's like it just exponentially grew with intensity of loving people with just this smile. And so when I found life models, like, oh, this is what I've been doing.
Oh,
Language to that. But it also
I love it.
validated that this is much needed in our
Hmm.
church, and this is the joy of the Lord, and the fruit of the Spirit is love and joy. Oh, I think it keeps showing up in the word. So for me, it was a validation,
Absolutely.
and it just kind of puts me, it's
Yeah.
like, yep, I'm in the right lane right here with this life model. Yeah.
I love it so much. I don't know about you, but for me, the whole joy thing was like the joy of the Lord is your strength, but it was never attached to joy. It was more like you better be joyful kind of thing. And so just to be able to have such a new, fresh perspective on joy has
Yes.
been so life-giving. And just today on my walk, the verse that came to mind, I think it's out of Psalm 6, in your
Mm,
presence there is fullness of joy. And I'm feeling that with you right now, but it's also that he's with us,
yeah.
and in his presence there is fullness of joy. So
Yes.
yeah, oh, I love it. I love it. And I love that smile. And I told you before we started recording, I'm like, you're just glowing. You have a beautiful, beautiful smile and a beautiful face. So
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. So tell me the mission of Life Model Works.
Good. This is, Life Model Work started off the Shepherd's House, and it is now
Hmm.
55 years old. And so for 55
Amazing.
years now, Dr. Wilder and his colleagues, and he's the longstanding member of that, of just trying to get people to understand here's the brain and here's what the word says. And as we study the brain and how it operates, we then begin to see why Jesus and why the word says some of the things that it says. And they are actually building the neural paths in our brains. All of these
Hmm.
scriptures about give thanks to the Lord in everything, give thanks. And over again, that was for our capacity building for life.
Mm,
And of course, the scriptures about joy, the things about quieting, be still and know
mm,
that God,
yes.
calm your nervous system down a little bit and just sit with me. So it's
Hmm.
amazing but that's pretty much the foundation of it is here's the brain and here's how your brain works and here's what the Bible says. And we can find those brain-based biblical principles so that we're not pulling, this isn't a new age thing. This is how he's created us. And his word actually
Hmm.
gives us some hints. So it's a matter of bringing those hints to life and letting people that it's validating it for people, saying it is okay. Your emotions matter. They are signals. Now let's begin to learn from that. But a lot of this is just that it is bringing these biblical brain-based principles to life for people so that they can just live fuller lives. It is with,
Hmm.
what the word says, I've come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. It's like, if I know me and if I can regulate my emotions and if I can learn some quieting and I can build the joy capacity, I get to live a fuller life. The spiritual parts are done for us. And that's a part of
Hmm.
what we get to
Hmm.
do is just identify for people. God has his part in this journey, but we have our
Hmm.
part to do as well. And we're just giving
Hmm.
practical tools so that you can do your
Yes.
part it actually facilitates what the Holy Spirit wants to do in our lives to such a degree that it's like, I get it now. I get it now. So that's kind of what we do. And that's done through
Mm.
so many different avenues. Now,
Yes.
the life model
Yes.
itself is where the multi-generational living, the relational skills, as well as Immanuel living, those are pretty much, we call our three pillars, the three solid things that we stand
Gotcha.
on that make up the life model. And so there have been ministries that have been created taking one or two of these and just running with it, which is so appropriate because this is for the world. And we need more people who will
Absolutely.
just grab it, just like what you're doing with this, with your podcast and your show,
Yeah.
is you're getting to spread it to other people that I would normally not get a chance to talk to. Because this
Right.
is for
Yeah.
me, This is Christianity 101. This is discipleship 101. And it would be
Yes.
incredible for in our discipleship 101 classes that we would actually teach people how to embody their faith by acknowledging and working with how God created us. So that's our
Mhm.
mission. The mission is the
Yes.
world, and
Yes.
to keep it simple
Yes.
so that even a child can learn it and
Absolutely.
anyone can learn this. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that so much. I love that you said that it's for the world because that is my heart as well. Coming from a missions background, being in ministry,
Mhm.
not as long, but 30 plus years in ministry. And I just kept finding myself just like, there's this, we're discipling, but we're not really discipling. So I
Mhm.
love that you brought out that discipleship, but the fact that it's for the world, is my heart as well. So yeah.
Yes.
Um, one of my interests is this whole idea of Christian formation
Mhm.
and looking at the Christian formation practices. And I keep telling everybody this life model works and the Immanuel lifestyle and the Immanuel approach is Christian formation. Like at its core is forming us into the likeness of Jesus. And for me, that always kind of seemed like that's not really possible, but we're going to just keep working really hard to do it. But now that I've been in it for a little while, I'm like, there is transformation that happens. It is possible because we're encountering Jesus in all of these beautiful ways. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
thank
feels like
you.
the icing on top of the cake. Here are all the spiritual principles and practices, but once you start including just some of the basic skills, it's like, ooh, okay, this makes
Yeah.
each one of those a little richer
Yes.
because we're bringing our full selves into the
Yes.
picture. And I'm not leaving my body behind, not leaving my emotional
Yes.
life behind, but I'm bringing
Yes.
all of that into my life with the Lord. And I
Hmm.
know there are
Hmm.
people everywhere who they see other people going through the motions and like they can walk into a church service and people are like, yeah, they're all just worshiping the Lord, higher and whatever. I can tell it came from a charismatic background, huh? And the
Yeah.
pastor
Yeah.
is in this and they're just looking and they almost begin to think, don't they have any problems? Like maybe I'm the only one. Well, I'm the misfit. And so I love that this brings an awareness to all of us that we're all on this journey and we all are on the same journey and at different
Yes.
spaces. And what
Yes.
to learning how to walk through the hard things together. But that means me at least opening the gate to letting someone know that I am having a hard time with something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful journey. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, isn't it? I know. I'm right there with you and I'm so grateful for your articulation of what I have because we each have our little, part and experience, but your articulation is just so beautiful. So I am just so grateful. So if someone would be interested in checking out Life Model Works, what would you suggest? Where would they start? Their journey encountering Emmanuel and growing in
Perfect, perfect.
some of
Good.
these
Good question.
relational skills.
Well, we just revamped our website so that it is more directional. And so here, there's some start here places. Are you a
Oh,
therapist?
good.
Are
That's
you a
perfect.
pastor? Are you just an individual? Are you a group? So that it just kind of navigates them on the journey. But one of the things I
Perfect.
always encourage people to do is that just sit with some of the freebies on our website. There are
Hmm.
blogs, there are videos, there's different things just when you sign up, because if you sign in, you get a whole lot more freebies and you just sit with that because with this transformational process, it's like things that you are hearing, reading, it's like, my goodness, wait. So it's better for you to take somebody else on the journey with you because you're going to need
Yes.
someone to process. You're going to think I've gone crazy. These people are crazy, but something's touching my
Yes.
heart here. What is it? And so it is so good to even take a partner and go through, even check out the website together, read articles together, say, hey, let's just go through a few of these together and process them. Everything that we do is not meant to be done alone. It is meant to be done
Yes,
inside community. We need community for this
absolutely.
transformation. So I always tell people just start there. And from there, you'll see
Yes.
so many other spaces that you can say, oh, I think I want this class. And some of those
Mhm,
classes
mhm.
might be with a partner ministry, but that's okay. We just want you to do something and take somebody else with you
Yes,
because it'll be a richer journey
exactly.
for you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's, I think, what I love about this whole lifestyle, because I've heard over and over is that the key to healing is connection and community, right? And this, what better way to journey is to journey with a partner or journey with a group, journey with, people that you start creating that safe place where you can come out of hiding, like you said,
Yes,
and
yes,
and know that there's people around you. And I love the aspect of the multi-generational community. It's so important, which I know is one, like you said, it's one of the pillars, because I have had that lack, I think, for a long time. I just wanted an older woman or older people to learn from, and have them model for me what it's like,
yes,
and so I love that aspect. Yeah.
yes,
So thank you
yes.
so much. Thank you so
You're
much. So I love that you've just revamped the website so it's easy to just start if you're,
yes,
you and someone else can start here, or groups or therapists. That's
yes,
brilliant. I love
yes.
it. I love it.
I
Yeah.
love on the therapist button. The therapist is, when you think of all the different industries, the therapy people have their own button because someone
Yes.
spearheaded that. We have a young lady, Monica Maurer, who wrote, we gave her license to write the Life Model Informed Therapist curriculum. So therapists are actually, don't recreate any of this. Just look at her curriculum. She's already pulled out all the nuggets for you to be able to pass this on to your clients. And so I love that. My hope is to see that happen in all the industries. What does this look like in business? What does it look like in
Yes.
missions and people working
Yes.
with children, for pastors? There's so many areas of there are, we get to do it differently. And I want to know, what have you done differently? Because I could just copy you.
Yes.
And so we get to
Yes.
be copycats in
Exactly.
this, but just becoming
Yes.
alive before the Lord, before others, and within
Yes,
ourselves.
my goodness, I couldn't have said it better. I love it. I love it. It was fun because I did get to interview Dr. Carl, and he said something really interesting to me. He said, "We don't have money for marketing." He's like, "But you're part of this, you know, getting this out there." And this is what I love, is because the more I am in this lifestyle, I'm seeing people like you and me, just like, we got to get this out here, however. And so I love that people are just like, we want this for therapists, we want this for children, we want, because it's so transformative, right? And it's just incredible. So well, it has been such a joy, and it is true. You are a joy builder, Marlene. And I'm so grateful for you taking time out of your day to be with me. So thank you so much. And any parting words that you would like to share with my lovely audience, any words of wisdom or encouragement, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, my encouragement is always to slow down and smell the roses and enjoy
Yes,
what God has placed in front of us. That includes the people who are sitting right there with us, the relationships
yes,
that are right there. And of course, He is Emmanuel, God with us. He has His side of every story we've experienced, every story we're holding. It's worth finding out His side of the story. And that's what I
yes,
love about the interactive gratitude. I get to stop and
yes.
just find out his side of a lot of my stories. Friends, it's a great journey. It's a transformational journey, but it is a little work because your brain is actually reframing. The more you do this, it's reframing. And when you get to the hard parts, it's easy to shut down and say, I'm
Hmm.
fine. I'll just go on the way it's been. But I just have to
Hmm.
tell you, there's so much more. There's so much more as we just cooperate with how God has created our brains and we get to live this fuller life. And we get to
Hmm.
represent Him better on the earth.
Absolutely. It's so worth it, right? The journey is so worth it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you and your life and the way you shine, and blessings on you and all you put your hand to. And hopefully one day we'll get to meet via Kathy, or if you're ever in LA, you come on, let's meet up. So,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
surely LA. So thank
yes,
you for
yes.
inviting us, and Lord bless you in what you're doing. Keep
Mm.
spreading it, mate.
Amen, amen. All
Okay.
right, love. Thank you so much. Take care.
Where are you?